And we are live.
As live as we can be.
Did we start on time or did we start late? Only you truly know.
Well, everyone but you will truly know.
Everyone but me?
Actually, you will too. because
Oh,
you have
I will know.
notifications.
Notifications, yeah.
Hot
But
dang.
ding, oh, you're live. Sweet.
I'm sure mine will go off if it wasn't dead.
We have some good topics to finish the decade off with.
We got 9 topics, one of which is good. You figure out which.
All right. I will try and figure that out. Ways, not
Ooh.
ways.
Wise.
Wise, not ways.
As far as my understanding, that's how you pronounce it. No.
Not the Cheese Puff Company or not the Map Company.
Cheese Puff Company.
Yeah, like Wise. Weiss.
What?
Yeah. Anyway, they had a home security leak. We'll pull up, it's like WYSE or something. Not literally called the Cheese Puff Company.
Oh.
Look up Wise Cheese Puff or something. WYSE Cheese Puff. You'll recognize it.
There ain't no way. I really don't eat that many cheese puffs.
Yeah, that's it. Cheese Doodles.
Cheese doodles.
Pull up the image. Can I show that?
Wow.
Where do I show that? Is that the button?
That's the button.
Yeah, see, you know this company.
No, I don't.
Really?
I've heard of cheese doodles before. I don't think I've had them.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Poor guy.
Some of cheese puffs out of the big
Out of the big, the
and
plastic
then
tub.
just Cheetos.
Yeah.
Because then there's Cheetos cheese puffs.
Anyway.
And we're about to go to the link.
Perfect timing, right? Anyway, that said, that's not the company we're talking about.
Yeah,
sorry for the little cheese puff trail there.
But you can sponsor us.
Yes. Especially if you give us cheese puffs. Or cheese doodles,
Yeah.
in this case.
But why is it on the other hand?
Wise, on the other hand, please, maybe if you sponsor us, but we're still not going to sugarcoat it. You had a home security leak, and that's unacceptable.
Especially for what your job is.
Yes, which I don't know what your job is, but apparently it's not leaking security.
Why is this
And
home
homes.
security systems?
Oh,
And they had a data leak.
that sounds counterintuitive. Let me just
home security, not what was it, enterprise security,
like identity security or
Yeah.
whatever.
There's some Apple designed concept art of what it would look like if Windows 10 was designed by Apple, which is a really confusing sentence.
In some kind of alter
Because
universe.
that would just be called Mac OS.
Yeah.
But
With more of a Windows theme, I'm guessing.
yeah, I don't like it, but I'm curious on your design opinions. Is really what it is. It's
Yeah. Okay.
just how it
Because I
looks
have used Mac OS more than you probably, just because I use it with work.
by a lot.
Yeah. And I surprisingly don't hate it. Personally, I wouldn't spend $4,000 on a laptop
Ever?
with those specs. Like, that laptop better be able to make me fly or something for $4,000. But that said, if work's paying for it, it's a nice laptop.
Yeah.
It works. The OS is, it took some getting used to, but it's not terrible.
Yep. A little article here about some struggles people had for getting a job in tech. And it's weird because I never really had a struggle getting a job in tech. And I actually had to apply to several places. Most of them I got denied. So take that with a grain of salt.
So you're saying you did struggle if you get denied?
So I went with the shotgun approach. Not in the store, just blasting the resume everywhere.
Yeah. Shooting resumes out everywhere, not like, give me a job.
Yeah. Don't do that. It won't work.
No.
I haven't tried it, so I can't prove it. But it's a thing.
Not recommended, personally.
Apple made a thing called Selfies. It's mind-blowing.
SlowMo video selfies. That's interesting.
Yeah. The end of Windows 10.
7.
Oh, the end of Windows 7. Yeah, the end of Windows 10 is near. End of Windows 7. I think I've heard hundreds of people at this point ask me on what to do. And there's finally an article about Windows 7 and my opinions on why it's not that big of a deal.
Sweet. And that looks like that's one of my favorite websites, too, that article on.
WCCF Tech.
Just kidding. Never heard of that website before.
Really?
Yeah.
At all?
No.
You've ever watched Wayne's show?
Yeah.
They mention it all the time.
Really?
Yes.
Well, that'll be a good learning experience for me.
VR games, a list.
Sweet.
This is a list of top selling VR games, and I have opinions on like these are good to buy.
Okay.
These are bad to buy.
Yeah, I see in the link. We'll talk about it later, but
Yeah.
I've played 2 of those games, and I've seen some videos on the third game,
Okay.
which, I mean, looks pretty good,
That one.
I'll say. Yeah.
So we just bought that.
Did you really?
3 days
Okay.
ago. John is.
Is that what he's playing now?
He's playing it right now.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I saw this article. I walked downstairs. Like, would you consider this game in the top 10 list? Instantly. Yeah.
Dang.
I haven't.
And it
played
just came out, right?
As far
like-
as I understand, yeah.
In the past couple months, I
'Cause, yeah,
think.
he sent me a link to YouTube. He's like, "You gotta check this out." I was like,
Yeah.
It's not worth $30, dude. It's just just like all the other ones. And then he spent the $30, and I bet there's 40 hours in the last 2 days.
Already.
on it.
Yeah. We'll talk about that.
We're
in a
gonna talk
minute.
about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that after.
These short sponsors.
Yeah.
Amazon does not value human life. This is a pretty obvious thing, but there's more cases on it. The 10 must-have apps for your Windows PC by
Ooh.
The Verge.
We'll see how many of those I have.
Yep, this really just comes in because a lot of people got computers for Christmas. And out of the 10, I gotta say, I'm surprised how many I have never heard of.
I'm going to guess that I have 1 or 2 and have probably heard of 4.
That's about right, yeah. And the best part about this list, it's a free list. It's not like
Okay.
all these programs you need
Oh,
to
really?
buy.
Okay.
It's
Then I
just
might
like-
have like one of them
Yeah.
in that case.
And then a cool article about VR gloves concept.
Yeah.
We've talked about
Uh-huh.
VR glove types.
Yeah.
I think this is the right path,
Gotcha.
or the righter path
Mhm.
than most. So with our most boring topic, whys, data leak,
Yes.
and why you shouldn't have home security in the cloud.
Can we hit it?
We can hit it. Over on CNET, why's data leak may have exposed personal data for millions of users.
I have never heard of Wise. I'm
So
kind
neither
of
have I.
surprised they have millions of users. There's a lot of people in the world, but
millions is still a big number.
millions is still a big number, yeah.
Because you have to think, I wonder if it's millions of people as in millions of households or individual people. Because if like I set up a home security for the house, why would I set up for every individual person that lives in the house? And
Yeah.
it not just be for me.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if that's how they got millions of people. If you average the average house has
Mhm.
5 people,
Yeah.
then you're like, oh, now it's only 250,000 people.
Yeah. 250,000 households, which
Households,
is
yeah.
a million people. Yeah, that's interesting. Security camera startup blames employee error for week-long data leak. Weeks-long data leak.
From the paragraph, where was it? No passwords or financial information was exposed,
That's nice.
which is fantastic, I guess. But email addresses, Wi-Fi network IDs, and body metrics were left unprotected.
I wonder what a
So-
body metric is.
Wi-Fi network IDs is not important, really.
Is that just the name of your Wi-Fi
It's
network?
just the SSID. just
Okay.
like the name.
Yeah,
No
that's
one can do
not
anything with
important. It's yeah, especially if they're not local to
Yep.
you.
Email addresses, I can see how that's aggravating.
People can spam you.
That's about it.
That's about it.
And then, what's that one?
Body
Body
metrics?
metrics.
I wonder if that's got something to do with cameras, like identifying
Like
people's body profile or something.
Yeah, or like you have a camera at the front door.
Uh-huh.
So if it recognizes your face, it will unlock the front door on that.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Or if like there's thumbprint. to
Oh, here
open
it
the
says,
door.
among the data exposed in the Wise leak was the height, weight, gender, and other health information for about 140 beta users participating in testing of new hardware, Wise said.
Okay, so it was beta testers.
Yeah.
So at least that's an opt-in thing.
Height, weight, gender. Why does your security camera need your height, weight, gender, and other health information?
That's a very good question.
I mean, I guess I could maybe see height if they're trying to identify you based on the camera, like your
Yeah.
height or
camera angle.
something.
But then you'd be talking about a multi-camera, super advanced setup.
Yeah,
So that different cameras can
some kind of like
guess.
3D imaging or something.
So if you have Wise, chances are your data's exposed.
Yes. And if you do have Wise, let us know down in the comment section
What your height, weight, and gender is.
what your experience has been, because I had, again, never heard of them. All right, now this one I am kind of excited about.
I'm going to open up the second link.
Apple's Windows 10. Oh, are these on the same website? No, but they are extremely similar looking.
Yeah. So there's a concept artist, I'll find his name in a hot second, that redesigned Windows 10 as if Apple would have designed it. So it's trying to keep things in the same place and kind of do things the Windows way-ish,
Okay.
but more with
Yeah.
the Apple touch to it.
Yeah.
I don't like almost any of it.
First of all, the background is extremely distracting.
Yeah, it's super noisy.
Yeah.
Like, I already don't like the default Windows 10 background with just the flag and the lines.
The blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really just don't like blue backgrounds, to be honest.
Yeah.
Which is weird to say because blue is one of my favorite colors, and pretty much everything I do has blue in it.
A lot of times I'll just change the background to just a solid black
That's
color.
what I do on most of mine.
Yeah.
Because it's productivity. It's not art.
Yeah. I will say a few things that I see off the bat is the toolbar on the bottom looks essentially like the Windows toolbar, almost exactly. I can't see what that is in the bottom right-hand corner. There's also the top bar on the top of the screen, which looks like it's taken directly off of iOS or whatever it is,
Yeah.
the Mac OS.
I'm going to go to the other website. See if that's better.
And then the start menu, I actually kind of like the way the start menu looks. I would say that's about it, though, at least from this one image I'm looking at.
So you like this start menu here.
I kind of like the radius on the corners, but other than that, I mean,
So
what
that's
the
one of
heck?
the big things I hate about it
Really?
is the amount of radius.
Okay.
One common friend of ours,
Yeah.
when I was designing my website,
Mm-hmm.
said to only ever do like 3 or 4 dot radius, just enough that it looks like you just barely rounded the edges.
Just so it's not a sharp corner.
Yep, just to get rid of the 3 pixels on the corner.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
And I've always liked that design ever since I've tried it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah, I used to like the super rounded, like this rounded look to it.
Yeah,
And then I tried doing the almost a sharp corner without it being a
Okay.
sharp corner.
yeah.
Kind of like these buttons right here. And
Gotcha.
I've loved them since. Because, yeah, square buttons are in design. It's so old school looking at this point.
Gotcha. But, I mean,
Otherwise, I don't think too much has changed.
I don't really think too much has changed either. It honestly looks like,
I think there's too much redundancy with a taskbar on the bottom and on the top.
yeah.
I feel like that's a lot.
Yeah. So on my Mac at work, I have a toolbar that slides out from the left when you mouse over on the left.
Okay, what does it do?
It just selects apps. That's all it does.
So it's kind of like the
So it
taskbar
has-
at the bottom.
Exactly.
Windows.
Yep. Exactly. So it has a list of like, say, 10 icons, and you can click on the icon to open up that
Okay.
app.
Yep.
And that's all that taskbar does. And then Mac OS has, just like on this image, which I don't know which, on hothardware.com.
I'm on the other one.
Okay.
I can go back over. Is that one
Yeah.
close? Is this close to it?
Yeah, like that. So that bar on the top is, instead of like on Windows, if you visit an app, then you have, the frame, and then you have the exit button on the top right,
Yeah.
expand, minimize, all that. And then on the top left, usually you'll have a file to save, and
Yep.
then edit, preferences, help, whatever.
Yep. View.
On Mac OS, that top bar is actually on the top of the screen, like you see right there. Yeah.
Okay.
So instead of it being on the top of the actual application window, it's on the top of the screen.
Okay. that
So
makes
there's
a
no
little sense.
bottom toolbar at all. You can make the little slide out, pop
That
out thing
makes-
that I have on the bottom or the
All the
right or
apps
whatever.
A lot more universal, I think.
It does, and there's something to be said for that. But at the same time, coming from a Windows background, I'm always looking to the top left hand of my
And then
application.
to save.
Yeah, and it's not there. You have to go all the way up to the top of the screen. It's not a big deal. It's
Okay.
different, but yeah, I
Yeah.
think the bottom toolbar kind of is redundant.
Yeah. I could get used to a universal top toolbar.
Yeah.
If it was a universal app thing where
Yeah.
an app would check if it's installed, then it would auto layout.
Uh huh.
That way you'd always have the same preference button at the same spot.
Yeah. Yeah. It does make sense. I'll say that. But it is different than Windows.
But then, yeah, because like in the top right corner for your bar, you have the search, I believe, for Apple. And then you have the Windows 10 search in the top left or the bottom left corner.
Yeah.
And it's like button redundancy on the screen that doesn't disappear.
Yeah. So to me, it just looks like a combination of Windows and Mac, like the Mac top bar and the Windows bottom bar.
Yeah. The start
not
menu,
really.
I can get behind. Where you open up start menu, it would be like start, all apps, document, settings, power.
So some different tabs, yeah.
Yeah, so it's tabbed out. But I don't mind the Windows 10 taskbar now where it's just a scrolly list.
Yeah. I just always search.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally it. I never use the start menu. Pretty much ever. I only use the search bar, yeah.
Okay.
Other than to shut off the computer, I don't use the start menu.
So I actually use the start menu so I don't have to type. Because I always have my hand on the mouse or over the mouse.
Gotcha.
But I'm not always at the keyboard.
Gotcha, yeah.
So
that makes sense.
That's when I'll use the start menu. But at the same time, either start menu layout would work. Because neither of them involve keyboard if you can just scroll.
Yeah.
Scroll or click through.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I mean, most of it looked pretty the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not really any big changes.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Pretty cool concept art.
Yeah. Getting a job in tech. Ooh, from the New York Post.
So you know it's a tech-related topic. I found this on news.google.com/technology. So you know it's true.
Job auditions are spiraling out of control.
So this is crazy. I didn't think this was like a real thing. So there's several different people in this article that share their experience.
Yeah.
You said it was New York Post. Cool. And it's people who go to like the bigger companies and they have several phone interviews first.
Say Google, Facebook, YouTube. Well, I guess YouTube is Google. Amazon, Netflix.
Yeah, but any of these huge
Apple,
companies.
Yeah.
And
Microsoft.
And they say it's an audition, which was a weird way to word it. But it required solving a complex coding problem and creating a presentation to explain her process. And she had only 24 hours to do it. She pulled an all-nighter, but given the time constraints, you can either write really good code or you can write really good presentation, but not both, she says. She focused on walking through how she would solve the problem and explained how she would collaborate with the engineering team to implement the code.
Yeah.
And then the company replied, it wasn't enough. And there's several different times where they tell pretty much the same thing, where it's an interview that goes outside of the face-to-face interview.
Yeah.
Which I didn't realize was ever a thing. I never once heard of an interview being involved where, like, here's your homework. Go home, do this, come back tomorrow, and tell me how that went.
Yeah, I've heard about people doing those. So for my job, I work for a Fortune 500 company. Won't name it, but the software development side is still pretty new. So I applied online on the website, got an email back, set up an interview. And for my interview, they asked me just general questions about Java programming.
Yeah.
And so I answered those questions. And then they didn't really ask much like behavioral questions, like to get to know me in this interview. The first one was just mainly just Java questions. And then there was a short, like 30 minutes. They gave me a programming task that I did on, honestly, I think we used Google Docs. I just typed out in Google Docs and I was on the phone with them during the time.
Okay.
So that interview was probably about an hour. And then my second interview was also over the phone and pretty much the same thing. This one, they asked more questions about me. We went over some more Java programming questions and then another like coding task that was done in Google Docs. So that was totally fine. That's pretty normal when you're applying for a software development job. But then there are also companies that do like take-home tasks, which they're talking about. Yeah. Which, in my opinion, I don't really like the take-home tasks because
I wouldn't take home work.
Because in that case, the interviewee, the person being interviewed, is doing a lot of extra work and they're spending a lot of extra time when the interviewer
doesn't have to.
Isn't really doing it. Yeah. Whereas if it's something that you're doing during an interview, then the company's investing time into you, and you're investing your time into, applying for the company.
Yeah.
So it's
the only way I see that
there's no downside for the company if they just send everybody home with a take-home task. It's just wasting the interviewee's time,
Yep.
not the company's time.
Yeah, that's the only
which is
benefit
kind
I
of-
would see is that not waiting so long in the interview. So like you
Mhm.
send in your application or whatever,
Yeah.
and then they would just send back, all right, solve this, get back to us. And then that would be more of the application rather than, it's like the application would just be like name, contact details, the basic, you're not here to shut us down or anything.
Yeah.
And then, they would send like, all right, here's the actual application.
Mm-hmm.
But then it would be the same for just everybody, just to make sure like you actually know the difference between Java and JavaScript.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like just to weed out the people that are definitely not fitted for the job.
Yeah. The thing with that is you can always Google
Yeah.
like the answers on the application. There are companies that also use different websites where you can do online coding challenges.
Okay.
And then like say,
Submit your score. or
yeah.
something.
So when you apply, you submit like your personal
Yeah.
information, your background, like your resume, all that jazz, job references, whatever. And then you also do like 3 coding challenges or whatever.
Yeah. See, that makes much more sense than doing 2 phone interviews and then being, all right, take this home and do this now.
Yeah, I kind of don't like the take-home challenges just because the company's not investing their time into the interviewee, and the interviewee is potentially wasting their time. Yeah. Yeah.
Because one of these was crazy. I wonder if I can find it.
I understand why companies do that, the take-home
Yeah.
thing, because the take-home task is more similar to what you will actually do at work. For example, my coding questions when I applied, one of them was given an integer, given a number, so say 123,
Okay.
add up each of the digits, 1 plus 2 plus
6.
3. Yeah. But just write a simple function to do that,
Oh, okay.
which
So you do-
it's just a way for them to make sure that you actually know
that's
how
more
to
like
code.
a reCAPTCHA thing to make sure that you're.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Whereas a take-home project is going to be more similar to what you're actually doing at work.
Yeah. Yeah, the second one on this article, I found it. Nicole, last name withheld, 33, a strategist living in Long Island City, interviewed for a startup that asked her to deliver an entire year's marketing plan.
And that's another thing that I really don't like. It's almost like you're having the interviewee do your job
Like real
for
work.
you. Yeah.
Because it's a startup with a year marketing plan.
That's
I've never
like
done a Long
pretty
Island
specific.
startup,
Yeah.
but anything a year out in a startup, in my opinion, is too far out.
Yeah.
But yeah, to me that's weird. And then at the bottom of this article it says, what's normal? And it goes through a couple things, like knowing that your job needs employees as bad as you, an employee, needs a job.
Mm-hmm. So it goes both ways. There's a reason they're interviewing people. It's because they do need someone to fill the position.
Yeah.
It's
then-
just a trade-off.
Yeah, then it's like, do your homework on employers.
Yeah.
Watch for red flags. Like, design a 1-year marketing plan for a startup. Ask how your test will be used, which I think is the important one.
Yeah.
There. And then even maybe have a friend apply or something and see if they get the same tests, and see that could help a lot just to
Mhm.
see how they treat 2 different people.
Yeah. And I've also heard people suggest asking, if you're going to be compensated, if you're going to be paid for doing that.
Yeah, still, it's like one of those things where, like, if I do get the job, do I get compensated back for it?
Yeah. Like if I spend 24 hours working on this project,
Yeah.
am I just wasting my time, or
Yeah.
you're going to
then,
pay me?
That fits in with this one. Negotiate your terms.
Yeah.
You'd be like, I'll do the project if you pay me for it.
Yeah.
Even if it's something stupid like $12 an hour, or going with something that's way less than
Mm-hmm.
what you should be paying for your position in
Yeah.
the company. And then be ready to explain your work. I think that one is a necessity.
Yeah.
You should be able to explain everything you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you can't, don't do it.
Yeah. And I would say for people who do have a take-home assignment like this, given at an interview, if the job's good, personally, I would do the take-home assignment if
Yeah.
I think that I could potentially get a really good job.
But then if you're just
On the same hand,
shotgun
it is, yeah, I still don't really like the practice of doing, it's like sending people home with a take-home project.
Yeah.
But if I were, put in that position, then as an interviewee person being interviewed.
Yeah, the only
Like-
advice I could really offer, because we definitely work in different areas
Yeah.
of tech,
Yeah.
is that if you want to get into computers and you just want to work for like a computer store,
Yeah.
all I did is I just printed off like 20 resumes and then just drove to every Geek Squad,
Yeah.
Break iPhone,
Mhm.
like every computer repair shop within 20 miles essentially
Yeah.
of here, and just handed each one. I walked in,
Mhm.
handed, and they said, "Oh, you got to fill out online. We can't take in resumes." I was like, "Oh, okay," and I just didn't apply online.
Okay. Yeah.
That was like one of my standards. Like if you can't hire people who walk in and be like, "I want to work for you,"
Yeah.
then it's too chainy from what I want to do.
Yeah.
And then the ones that I did actually talk to were all smaller businesses, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's moved to online applications.
Yeah.
They would always just test me on the couch, like, "Hey, I'm in college for computers. I'm not terrible at it.
Yeah.
Can I please have a job?"
Yeah.
And they would just quiz me right there over the counter, like, "All right,
Mhm.
1 second." And they'd give it back, grab a bunch of stuff, and they're like, "What is this cable?" And it's like, "So if this pin breaks on this cable, can you fix it?" And I was, just be honest, like, "No, but it's a $2 cable.
Get a new cable.
Buy a new
Yeah.
one." Like,
Yeah.
you don't have 40 of those back there? And then that's how I started. is-
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I was just like, "Yeah, I mean, I'll just tell you I broke it. It's a cable." And that's how I would, if you just want to get into the utter basics.
Yeah.
Because most computer stores, I think, would
And
shot.
a lot of stores like the Geek Squad and all that probably have pretty high turnover rate too, because it is kind of an entry level position. So
Yeah.
people are working there for a little while, getting some experience, maybe getting another job.
Yeah, but that's the only time I've ever been really tested.
Yeah.
And it was just all like, so the first I got, I went to back and he goes, "All right, this is a store computer. Doesn't turn on. Make it turn on."
Okay.
And so even when I have people come to my store and they're like, "I just want to learn about computers," I have a whole shelf of broken laptops. Like, here's one. I can't get it to work. If you can get it to work, great, you can have it.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm using it for parts.
Yeah.
And it's surprising how many of them will sit there for like 3 hours and make
Mhm.
it work.
That's funny.
But they'll just, because they think different than I would.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like a mechanic that's never worked on a car. They'll just try something. It's like, that shouldn't work.
Yeah.
And it does.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's jobs in tech from two techs in different areas.
Yeah. I do think once you've gotten a job, like I'll speak specifically of software development, once you do have a job on your resume,
Yeah.
getting a second job, from what I've heard, is much easier.
Because then you just been verified.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you are able to work as a software developer for 6 months, a year, 2 years, the next company you apply for is going to say, "Hey, maybe this person actually does know what they're doing.
You
They
didn't
weren't
just-
fired after the first month, or they didn't quit." You know?
Yeah. And it wasn't that you just took a 2-month boot camp on YouTube or something.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's not like you've prepared for the test and you've taken it and you've
Yeah.
passed. It's you just did a job for a year and
Yeah.
know something about coding.
Yeah.
I will never understand anything about coding. It's amazing.
If going to crash, don't.
Speaking of things that I will never understand, MacRumors.com. Apple shares new SlowMo video shot on iPhone 11. So if you ever wanted to
Whoa.
use the word SlowMo and selfie together, it's pronounced SlowFi. This image
That's
is hysterical.
just kind of weird.
So they Apple uploaded several different ones. We can watch this first one right here on what they're doing. So here's the SlowFi shot, and it's
I mean,
attractive
what can
girl,
you
hair
expect?
blowing wind. Ta-da! It lasts a lot longer than I would have thought a SlowFi would have. I would have thought like 3 seconds max or 1 second.
Yeah.
And then there's it actually happening in real time.
Okay.
So you see just her brother holding a hairdryer and her holding the phone.
Hmm.
And then the end result is just slow-mo air. And
I
that's
mean-
a SlowFi. A slow-mo video selfie.
It's a thing that's possible, I guess.
Thing made by Apple.
I don't know if I'd put that on my iPhone 11 marketing, like necessarily, but
Yeah.
it's kind of neat.
I saw this. I was like, I didn't know what the word SlowFi was.
Yeah.
And then I opened it, I was like, They mean like SlowMo video?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
But
Okay.
specifically selfie.
Yeah.
I don't really take selfies.
I would have understood.
Not
if it
really
was,
something
like,
for me.
A 1 second clip or something.
Yeah.
But from the looks of it, it could be at least 5 seconds.
That's strange. Whatever. You do you, Apple.
Just don't redesign Windows 10. Windows 7.
Speaking of don't design Windows 10,
Windows 7.
this video is sponsored by
Oh.
Jmart Media and
Nephew Tech.
.com.
And Nephew.tech.
Ooh.
I still own it. I'm not going to renew it. It doesn't go anywhere. Are you kidding me? Look at that.
Whoa.
It doesn't have any SLSL on it.
Ah,
Yep.
of course.
Index. One day we'll get there. Maybe for the 1 year anniversary.
Yes.
Once I get the domain for a year, then I'll put something on it.
Yeah, right before it expires.
Yep. Do it again. What a waste.
Last weekend of 2019. Use it to upgrade to Windows 7 to Windows 10 for free. 2 weeks left until the expiration date hits and notifications start popping up. Ooh.
So this is super
Fancy.
misleading from WCCF Tech. So last weekend of 2019 is one statement by itself. That's it. And then use it to upgrade Windows 7 to Windows 10 for free. That'll continue. That isn't going to end this weekend. I don't know why. 2 weeks left until the expiry date hits and notifications start popping up. This is two separate statements. 2 weeks left until expiry date hits means 2 weeks left until Windows 7 end of life.
Okay.
Notifications start popping up has been happening since the beginning of December. So that is the world's most confusing title.
Most inaccurate title.
Yeah. I don't quite understand it. So from my understanding of this whole ordeal, Windows 7 is ending, I think, the 14th. Yes.
Yep, I think that's what I saw.
Windows 7 on January 14th, 2020. So we have right at 2 weeks left. That is just updates. So Windows 7 will no longer update. If you have Windows 7, see if you even have updates turned on. The majority of computers that come into my store with Windows 7 have updates disabled.
Yeah, that's super interesting, especially because the company I work for is making software for healthcare organizations and government, both of who are still using Internet Explorer.
Yep.
And are probably still mostly using Windows 7.
If not XP.
Yeah. Yeah, like it'll be interesting to see how this, or if this is going to affect like big healthcare companies
It won't.
that don't want to change
Because
and government who also just wants to keep.
they can
Windows
buy the
7 and
Windows
keep what works.
7 security updates.
Okay. If they're a big like enterprise company.
Yeah, you
okay.
can buy the enterprise
Gotcha.
updates still. It's just the home business users.
Gotcha. Okay.
The other fun fact is it's just the updates. Like Windows 7 will still work the same way it's always has. It's just not going to have the updated security. The easy solution, malwarebytes.com, $40 a year. Not sponsored. It's just antivirus that works. You're going to hear that name again in a little bit, actually. But yeah, just buy antivirus. Pay $40 a year. It works. And then you'll be safe and secure. That's really all I can tell you about this. Is that you don't have to upgrade to Windows 10. Like, it's not mandatory. I personally like Windows 10 more than 7 in a lot of regards.
Mm-hmm.
But the one benefit of 7 is that you already know how to use it.
Yeah.
So-
and for a lot of people, that is the most important
Yeah.
aspect. Yeah.
It's at a certain point in your life, it's
Mhm.
not worth learning a new
Yeah,
operating
relearning
system
stuff, yeah.
again. It's just, but yeah, if you want to upgrade, you can still do it for free. It's never been not free to upgrade from 7 to 10 or 8 to 10 or 8.1 to 10. That's all I have to say on it.
Yeah.
Super confusing article. I hope
Yep.
that cleared that up for the art viewers. I don't know if you have anything to say on it. I was
Not really.
pretty straightforward with it.
Yeah.
This article, I don't know if we want to skip number 6 because it's going to be a very long article.
Okay. Yeah, we can go ahead and skip that.
The super boring one is the VR, or I guess this Amazon one's pretty boring because it's sad. We'll do a sad one.
Okay.
This is over on The Verge. Go read this BuzzFeed and ProPublica report about how Amazon sacrifices safety for speed for its delivery network.
First of all, when you're quoting BuzzFeed as one of your sources,
It's probably not the best.
probably not the best.
But on the other hand, to write an article that says, go read this article, I have to almost give props for it.
That's true. Yeah.
Because it's not just like, "Woo, we read this article and we rewrote it for our."
Yeah, here, come give us some ad money. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're actually pointing people towards the sources, which is cool.
But then they just wrote their own version, which is also fantastic because I kind of like The Verge.
Yeah.
To sponsor us.
Yeah.
But
We'll show you how to build a PC.
yeah. Oh, man.
Poor guy.
So the speed and convenience of Amazon's own delivery network has regularly come at the price of safety. And you've heard it several times about factory workers collapsing and heart attacks in the factory from employees. At this point, it's almost not news because so many people die that work for Amazon.